Hello and welcome to another edition of Attack Line. My name is Chad and I'm joined here as always by Dizzy.
How you going? We've got a big episode for you this week. We've got a lot of news coming in. We've got a lot of games coming up. Welcome to Attack Line.
Yes.
We're heaps better than last week.
Yeah. One take! Yeah. Alright. So some big news coming out of Austral this week.
Yeah,
I'll say that. So we've got some big news coming out of Austral this week. One of their star players is out for up to 6 to 8 weeks, we've been heard.
Adam Harris actually landed on Malachi's ankle last week. So he's done his ankle. He's got a fracture in his ankle. He's out for a couple of months. So that's not going to be good for Austral.
Austral, yeah, they're going to be a struggle. It's going to put a lot of the workload on Fraser Smith and Brandon Long as pass hitters. And someone's got to go into that opposite role. Dave Carey we saw in a middle position a few weeks ago. But he may have to step away from the middle, hit outside for a while. And then somebody else go opposite. But yeah, who knows? But that's a big loss for Austral.
Oh, well, good luck to him. We've got some other news. The Tea Tree Gully Volleyball Association, the Specsavers Cup was on the weekend.
Yeah, we mentioned that a few episodes ago. Yeah.
So the local winners, Jimmy Dowley, Elliot King, Brendan Clues and
John O'Barron.
John O'Barron token. So they got $600 out of that. So thank you to Specsavers for that tournament. The grass volleyball tournament, I think, was a bit of a
yeah. I had a bit of a look, and it was a great tournament. And congratulations to those boys, $600 richer.
Now a few people have laughed at us, but we are actually developing an iPhone app for Attack Line. So this is going to include a lot of news, a lot of access to draws and results, all in the palm of
your hands. It's going to have, as Izzy alluded to, fixtures at the touch of a button, and it's just going to be great for volleyball, I think.
So I look forward to that one. Single take Attack Line.
This is weird.
So we're going to jump straight into the men's review of the league games on the weekend. So the first game was Norwood. They defeated South 3-0.
Yeah, a bit of a comeback from the match against Lyon last week. They really showed their premiership credentials with this match.
Now Mount Lofty defeated Austral. Obviously the injury to Adam Harris didn't help. So
yeah, that played a key part. He was hitting phenomenally. He went down, and the Austral boys struggled after that, and Lofty came away with 3 points.
And USC Lyon defeated Henley 3-1. Now Hamish Moore was missing from that game. Trav Moran played as well, but
Casey Rice also missing. But yeah, Lyon boys look strong. They could be the Smokies this year. Actually, they've looked good for the 2 games so far. Also, we have the women on court for round 2, which the first match saw South Adelaide versus Norwood. Now we turned our attention to the women's matches for round 2, and the first match that we had a look at was, so we had a look at the round 2. So we're going to turn our attention to the round 3 of the women's division.
So we're going to turn our attention to the women's matches from round 3. So South Adelaide got the goods in a 5-setter against Norwood, 3-2.
Great match, that one.
Mount Lofty defeated Austral 3-0. Obviously sticking to our keys to success by showing up and serving in.
Well done by us.
And Lyon defeated Henley 3-0 as well on the Friday night.
So welcome to Chad's mailbag. Now, Diz, you got to get us starting off this one, because this one was actually directed to you again.
Now, we've had some mail regarding a controversial issue. After speaking with our lawyers today, we have decided that we can't air it. If you have any questions, contact myself or Chad, and we'll be sure to get back to you.
Now we've also got some lookalikes sent in. Now the lookalike, that went off last week. Everybody had a bit of a laugh at Dempsey looking like an idiot. And we've got some more people looking like idiots. Well,
so here is
like who they know.
The South Adelaide middle, John O'Barron, and of course AFL footballer Harry O'Brien.
Superstar halfback Harry O'Brien.
Lewis Einerson. He'll be a bit disappointed with this one, but he's well known as Bieber around the tracks. Justin Bieber and Lewis Einerson, you guys look like the same
I
person.
actually think they're twins. Like, he could rock up at the Justin Bieber concert and the 14-year-old girls absolutely just see tripping off him, so well done.
Now, I know this guy from the Transformers movie, John Turturro. He actually looks exactly like Paddy Rogers.
Paddy Rogers, of course, Mount Lofty middle blocker.
And Michael McEwen, he's already had one lookalike, but we couldn't leave this one on its own. He also looks like a meerkat.
A meerkat, absolutely. And of course, this one also, Fraser looks like a lot of things, but this one, I think this is Fraser's long-lost twin brother, Tin Lincecum, the Major League Baseball player. Have a look at this one, guys. That is the exact same person right there. One take.
What happened to us? So
we're going to return our... Is it round 3 or 4? 4. So we're going to turn our attention to round 4 of the South Australian Volleyball League. Now we've got South Adelaide men versus USC Lion. USC Lion 2-0 at the moment, South 1-1. So USC Lion got some key outs. Tell us about those outs, Divvy.
Well, we've got Cluesy. He's going bushwalking again this weekend on Friday night. We've also got Kurtzer and Tricky. They go into a wedding, but we've got a lot of strong reserves players that we are going to bring up for this game. I think we'll get the goods, obviously. I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, Gosling did not play against Norwood last week, and Chris Gosling is going to step straight back into the South Adelaide League side and bolster their setting stock, so I think it's going to be a South boys in a close one.
Well, the next game we've got is actually 2nd versus 6th, so Austral versus Norwood. Norwood, obviously, the premiers from last year, had a bit of a hiccup in round 1 against USC Lion, but I think they're going to come up with the goods. Harry's out for 6 to 8 weeks
massive
now.
out, Adam Harris.
And, yeah, Norwood to win again, because they're not playing Lion, basically.
Yeah, Austral, I think they're going to struggle. It's going to put a lot of the offensive emphasis on Fraser, and they just might become one-dimensional there. And all the best, but I think Norwood in this one.
Now, the next match is our joust game of the week. Lofty versus Henley. 3 versus 4 on the ladder. It's going to be a tight one, Chad.
Absolutely great one. So, Mount Lofty, I watched them last week, they've got a pretty young side and an unusual side to what I expected on paper, but they play some pretty tight, really aggressive volleyball. Henley didn't get the win last week against USC Lion. Getting some key players back, but I think it's going to be Mount Lofty in pretty emphatic style.
I think it's just going to be a Trav versus Marcus Jones show.
Who can hit the ball
I think
harder.
Lofty are going to get the goods.
Yeah.
Once again, we're going to turn our attention to the women's matches coming up this weekend. Friday night, we have got Lion versus South, the joust game of the week.
Battle
Positions
of the South.
2 and 4. Lion coming off a couple of strong wins. South are 1-1 at the moment. I think it's going to be Lion in a close one.
Yeah, I think the South girls, they had a grueling 5-setter against Norwood last week. They really showed their character, and I think they're going to get up in this match.
The next game we've got is Austral versus Norwood on Saturday afternoon. Positions 3 versus 6. I am going to tip Austral.
I'm going to tip Norwood in this one. Norwood showed a real bit of fight last week against South, and I think they're going to continue that through to the next game against Austral.
And the final game we've got is Mount Lofty versus Henley, positions 1 versus 5. Now, Lofty, as we mentioned earlier, showed the keys to success being implemented by showing up and serving you, and I believe if they do that against the Henley full team now, I think they're still going to get the goods.
It shows that we've got some fanfare with on attack line. Mount Lofty girls, obviously watching us, they A, showed up, B, served in, they got the goods. What more do we need to say? Lofty for me.
You're welcome. Welcome to the Rumour Mill.
That's right, guys. The Rumour Mill has been churning this week. Absolutely on fire with the Rumour Mill hashtag on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, one of the biggest rumours we've got is from an unknown source, or an unnamed source in fact, that there is actually a volleyball-orientated stadium with a 5,000 seat capacity going to be ready for the 2013 season for State League.
Yeah, and this is where somebody wrote in, Matthew from, I think he's out in Northway, asked a question on Facebook to us. He said, why don't you play any games out in the northern suburbs? Of course, Lofty, where all the games held, used to be at Marion, but imagine this, it's a central stadium to the city. This would be fantastic for South Australia.
Can't wait. Now, the second one we got is actually about me, so I'm going to let Chad talk about this.
Now, Dizzy, this one was big. We can't go past this, but Dizzy was spotted at South Adelaide training last Thursday night, where the South reserves men train. Of course, where are you from?
USC Lion.
Dude, tell us more about this one, Dizzy. Were you there, or were you not there?
Well, I was there. I was actually scouting for this weekend and having a chat to fellow president Alex Moncrief about his Nike sneaker collection. I did learn a lot,
yes,
and hopefully I will bring out that information this Friday
So
night.
you weren't signing transfer papers?
Can't divulge that information.
Nice. Rumour.
So what we're going to do this week, we've had a bit of feedback regarding the carry rule at State League from the referees. So we're going to teach you how to set a volleyball. We think we are the best people for the job.
That's it. Of course, there's 3 main elements to the set.
Let's say libero and middle as well.
Okay,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Alright. So what we're going to do now is, we've had a bit of feedback from some players regarding the carry rule at State League. So they're a bit anal about it. So we think the 2 best players, and a libero and a middle, are the best ones to show you how to set. So we're going to go through a few points and then take you out to our volleyball court at the back that we've built for a tack line and give you a bit of a demonstration. And the 3 points are, Chad.
Oh, were we doing that?
I don't know, I thought what.
Because you spoke for a bit, no, I think.
Sorry.
There's 3 main points to setting that you need to stick to in order to get a nice set out. Now, first one, take the ball as low as you can. This will give you best bit of skill to put it out. Secondly, one touch, one hand at a time, and you'll be good. And of course, the third one is as flat as you can. So I'll give you an example of this one. Flat, one-handed, low. Perfect set every time. Sack line. So it's another short episode of Attack Line this week. We've kept it short because we thought we were going to get sued. So, Dizzy,
we're going to leave you with Leader's Clip of the Week. See you next time on Attack Line.